Hello, everyone. Good morning. We are on day 18, and today we're going to talk about stewarding leadership. I love talking about leadership. I can literally talk about all things leadership probably for ever. I could talk about stuff for leadership all day long. I just absolutely love it. One of the things that I think is always cool is, people who love to talk about a certain subject, really being able to get to know like the behind the scenes of why, like build context into that. People could say, oh, I love talking about this, or I love talking about that, or that's something I've been obsessed with. Well, why? So I'd love to tell you a little bit about just my background in leadership and how it's come to be because it starts a very, very long time ago. And I think context is really cool to really be able to get to know a person, find that depth. Because in a world where automation is trying to take over everything, AI is trying to take over everything, 5-second, 15-second sound bites, stories are trying to take over everything, context still matters. Still matters. So, when it comes to leadership, it started for me at the age of 7, believe it or not, maybe even before that. But I've always been the person where everybody like points to me and says, hey, you're going to be the leader of this. You are going to be the captain of this. You are going to, just take charge. And I'm like, okay, sure. Why not? And so I was always somebody that was put in charge or to be the speaker or something. And so I was always captain of my sports teams, and people always said, Molly, you're going to be the one to speak or lead or what have you. But there was a time that I audibly heard that I was meant for a leadership position. Audibly heard that I was meant for a leadership position. And when I say audibly heard this, it wasn't from a human being. I 100% believe it was from the Lord. So at the age of 7, I was getting out of church. We're in the foyer, exiting the building or something. I think church just got let out. And I heard in my spirit, are you ready? And when I heard those words, I knew what it meant. Are you ready to lead? Are you ready to step into this leadership position that I have for you? And I was like, in my mind, I was like, yo, I am 7. So I said no. And I found like a stairwell that was nearby. I ran up the stairs, ran away, thinking I can run away from this voice. And I ran. So I was like, that was big. How could I even do this? I'm 7 years old. In my mindset, I was like, I want to go play with my friends. I just want to fit in. And when I was younger, I was desperate to fit in. I knew I was created differently. I just felt something was different about me, but I always wanted to fit in. Anybody else? Anybody else have that? Like, I just want to be like everybody else at some point, maybe in your childhood or maybe even now, because it's like you fit in just a little bit better. Well, I had that, and that was at the age of 7. Well, about 20 years later is when I truly stepped into that. Okay, what does this mean, Lord? But up until that point, like I mentioned earlier, I mean, sports teams, like if there was anybody that had to be appointed to say anything, it was always like, Mom, you're going to be the one. You're going to be the one. I'm like, okay, sure. What does that look like? Let's do it. Everybody was always felt so nervous. And I was like, let's just go for it. Why not? So I eventually just got really confident in just leading because people always appointed me. And I was like, sure, yeah, let's do it. So I had taken, from being leaders of my sports teams to taking leadership and being on student council all throughout high school, even in leadership positions throughout college. When I was in my early 20s, I actually went through this program called Leaders in Transformation several different times. Almost got to the point where they wanted me to be a trainer. It started here in Southern California, and we went really deep. I mean, I learned some of the most pivotal things about myself, about other people, how to see people, how to see myself, and really leading from a place of like empathy and love with boldness. And so, Leaders in Transformation, it was a really, really great program. It definitely more on the worldly side, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I didn't know there was biblical leadership programs out there. And honestly, like I know today they're everywhere, right? They're absolutely everywhere. Or at least I see them everywhere because we have our Radiant Leadership Academy, which is a biblical leadership academy. And so since we talk about that all the time, the internet just floods me with everybody else's. Anyways, I've had an extensive background on leadership. I was called at a very young age. I was appointed and I gained the confidence because I just kept going for it. And even if it didn't work out, even if it failed, even if I went the wrong direction, I still did it anyways. Now, for me, I definitely let some of that go to my head, and it contributed to pride and ego that I had to really just burn off me and burn the roots. And it took a very long time, because I came more from like, you need to do this, you need to do that, managerial dictatorship. Like, well, if you're not going to do it, then forget it. Like, we're out of here. We'll see you later. There was no standing in the gap. There was no loving other people through it. It was like, just come up if you want, and that wasn't necessarily the best. Now, there is a level of compassion and love that you have for people when you lead them. And there is a level of boldness of like, let's get it. You have to make the decision. You have to be disciplined. No one can do that for you. Let's go get it. So I've had just an extensive, lifelong learning journey of leadership. And so I love being able to talk about it. So I love today that we are going to be diving into stewarding leadership, that conversation. I figured a little bit of background might be nice of like where it all came from. And as I briefly mentioned today inside of our company, Kingdom Alliance, the reason why we are a global network marketing opportunity, we didn't start the company that way, but we are now, is because of our leadership program and the transformations and the results that people have received from that 16-week biblical deep dive of true Christ-like leadership. From the words you think, the thoughts you, or the words you think, the thoughts you think, the words you speak, how you steward your wealth, your finances, your investments, the leader that God's called you to be, all of the above. So many transformations, thousands have come out of that. That is where we actually ended up getting the question inside Kingdom Alliance, hey, can we share this and get paid? And then it was boom, God downloaded the blueprint and our company became a network marketing company. It literally felt like overnight. It took a couple months and he downloaded just the perfect blueprint. And here we are, in about 15 different countries, soon to be in more languages, impacting people all around the world through that program and many more that we have. So obsessed with leadership, absolutely obsessed with it. So I want to talk about when it comes to leadership. You may have figured this out. Some of you may have, may not have. You may be wondering why. But guess what? When it says in scripture that we are the head, not the tail, believe that. We are the head, not the tail. We get to stomp the enemy under our feet. Well, guess who he was going to go after? The head. And guess who the enemy targets a lot of the time? Leaders, the head of organizations. We have seen so many people in leadership positions, whether it is in government, whether it's in the church, whether it's in just any kind of an organization, fall because he's going after them and he's trying to tempt them. He's trying to deceive them, distract them. We've seen a lot of people fall. Equally, we've seen a lot of people rise and do many amazing things. But guess what? If I was the enemy, I'd go after the head too. There's like, that is the best use of time, is to go after the head. So we need to know, okay, why is he going after us? Because there is something inside of us. I believe all of us are meant to lead, whether it's just ourselves, our families, our spouses, organizations, a church, a small group, a Bible study, whatever. Like, we're all meant to lead in some capacity, believe it or not. And so when you are meant to lead and you have some level of influence, the enemy's going to come after you. But guess what? Most of the time, people make his job really easy. It's not me. Why should I be the one? Am I really the one? Yes, you are. Why are we second guessing it? Like, go after it and be around people who are going to empower that. So the enemy is going to come after you. And we get to have that guard up. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The guard is up. We know he's trying to be sneaky. We know he's trying to be sly. We know he's deceitful. And guess what? I don't know how many of y'all know this, but he knows scripture too. He used to be an angel, remember? Like, he knows scripture too. He knows it. We were actually talking about this on a call that we had recently inside of our community from an expert that came in. And we were talking about how, Satan was, he was created, Lucifer was his name. He was created for worship. He was created for worship. And pretty much, long story short, got to his head, thought that he could be bigger than God, and then out he goes. That's why the world is so obsessed with self-worship, self-gratification, me, I, validation of self. Because he plants those thoughts and we get suckered into that. He attacks worship like nothing else because he knows what worship was made for. And we get to worship our creator and he can't do that anymore. And not that he wants to, because he wants to be the one. But he's trying to stop you. from accessing what he knows is on the other side for you. So he is going to go after the head. He's going to come after you. We get to rise up against that. So when it comes to leadership, I have a couple things that I wrote down that I'm going to look in my notes to really share when it comes to just understanding just the spiritual side of leadership. Understanding that godly leaders think big. They think of other people. They think continually. They're constantly like, how can we learn and grow? They're not satisfied with the answers of today. Godly leaders think of the bottom line. They want to see results. They want to see fruit. Fruit matters. Godly leaders think of continual growth, always improving, always being a student. Godly leaders think without lines. They let God outside of the box. As crazy as that sounds, they let God outside of the box. What does that mean? Okay, Lord, like, here's what I think, but what do you think? Let him go wherever he's meant to go. Let him lead you and just be willing to follow. Godly leaders think of victory. Godly leaders think intuitively. Godly leaders think of servanthood. They want to serve and value other people. A lot of leaders these days want to be served. They got it all wrong. They got it twisted. And godly leaders think quickly. They evaluate quickly and they see possible answers. They're solution oriented. Like they really want to be focused on, okay, like what can we do in this moment to provide a solution? Lord, what does that look like? Like if we think too long, there's a lot of things that come into play. But if we can really be active and be like, okay, what's the best move and go for it? And Lord, just lead me. Like people want to follow leaders that get into action, truly get into action. So one of the things that when we talk about leadership and really stewarding it, understanding that we all have a level of leadership to some degree. Maybe some of us don't realize that. Maybe some of us know that. And the ones that do have leadership, I want to encourage you and I want to implore you. That fire, if you look at like a torch, right? That fire that you're holding, many people want that fire of theirs to get bigger. Yes, of course. But so many are focusing only on their fire getting bigger and they're not dipping down to the next person to light other fires. Your fire is not just meant for you. A little bit is, but most of it is meant to go light other fires. It's meant to go light other fires. And so I remember there was a day that the Lord kind of gave me that vision of like, especially in the area that I live, there's a lot of influential people, but a lot of people focused on getting their fire bigger and not truly developing, pouring in and helping build other leaders. One of the things I love about our company is we are truly building a new brigade of leaders. And it's about character first. Character first. Everybody wants to praise results. They want to praise the gift. They want to praise all of that. And that matters, right? Like praising, like seeing and appreciating the results and the gift matters. But few, very, very few really do praise and reward character. So inside Kingdom Alliance, literally building a new brigade of leaders, like build leaders who build leaders who build leaders is a part of our mission here at Kingdom Alliance. Like it matters, especially in network marketing. My gosh, we could go on that for like a whole hour. Like I love the industry of network marketing. And if me just saying that triggers you, good, because we need to have this conversation. A lot of people want to get stuck of, oh, I heard a bad story, or I had a bad experience, or I had a bad this, bad that. It truly is a beautiful business model. But when people get involved, people muck it up. People ruin things because of their own ... experiences, perceptions, you name it. And a lot of the time when people get into network marketing, there's so many focus because they have a desire, they have a need, which I get it. I 100% get it. But we cannot lose the fact that we are there to serve people and build leaders. And it will take time. So many people come in network marketing, they're expecting within their first 1, 2 to 3 years to become a millionaire. Come on. Like, let's really wake up to the fact that can that happen? For some, yes. For most, no. And I don't say that to discourage you. I say that because if you want something that is going to be residual, pay you residually, really pour into you, it is going to take time to build. Any CEO of any company will tell you in the beginning, like you basically don't pay yourself and you pay others. And it's a build, it's a build. And then eventually you build the infrastructure and the team and you have other leaders and all of that. And now the money really starts flowing in, but it took a lot of work and it could take years for that work to take place. But when we really help people heal from the inside out, grow personally, and really be able to go be that possibility for other people to show them here's what's possible. And people are messy, but we stand in the gap for them anyways. That's truly why I've loved network marketing. And most of the time, network marketing is connected to some physical product, right? Like a skincare or shake or whatever, Inside Kingdom Alliance, it's connected to you growing. You come in and you just immerse yourself in the trainings, the mentorship, the certifications that we have, and you grow and you go share how you're growing and you go out there and be a light to other people. The reason why people come to our company is because they get fed and they're a light and they know it and they want to go give that to other people. That is the easiest thing to share, easiest thing to enroll people in because people want that. They're looking for community. They're looking for growth. They're looking for something like that. And so we truly are in this space. And when we got into the network marketing part of Kingdom Alliance, redeeming and restoration to the industry is what the Lord shared with us. And I'm here for it. A lot of people have written it off. A lot of people are like, oh, network marketing is dying. We're going to affiliate. I'm going to become a coach. I've done all those things and nothing provides you the leverage that you're looking for. Nothing provides the leverage that you're looking for. There's no compounding efforts. It's just you. Let me ask you this question. Would you rather be yourself, one person doing 100 things or having 100 people do one thing and you benefiting off of that? And there's no shame in benefiting off of that, right? We share things all the time and then people share it and people share it and people share it. Why shouldn't you get paid for that? I don't understand when people feel so guilty about that. Share the value. Here's the value. Invest in yourself and let's go. Be coachable and follow a system. If you're tired of this year looking like the same as last and the same as last, and you want this time next year to be different, it's time to do something different. It really is time to do something different. And we're doing that inside of our company every day because we're focusing on people's character. We're focusing on where they need to grow. The reason why the industry of network marketing has gotten so spammy is because character has been lost. It's like, hey, copy and paste this script, hustle and hurry up. I hear some of these leaders, call me old school. I hear some of these leaders saying, oh, I got 1,600 people in my business this month. Well, if you have a big team, great. That's amazing. If that's from automation and just slamming people into your business because you have a cheap and easy product, anybody could do that, truthfully. How are we leading people? How are we leaving people better than when we found them? Honestly. And it takes the person who says yes to then be disciplined and do the work and be coachable and do the work. No matter what you're doing. It could be a health journey, business journey, mindset. It could be anything. But most people don't have the discipline. Including leaders. You have to, especially if you're a leader, you have to have more discipline. You have to lead from the front. And it shows through your character. What you do behind closed doors will always be shown in public at some point. What you do in the dark will always be shown in the light. You have to look at people's fruit. And I'm not just talking about the physical, the easy fruit to see, the money, the trips to that. Really grow in discernment and get to know their character. Have conversations with them. Before you get into business or do anything, really get to know people's character. Understand people will always, at some point, disappoint you, let you down. That's okay. We get to have grace, but you have to look at the fruit. Money is easy to make. You can literally make money anywhere, but character is the challenging part. Character is the harder part. Most people just want to muscle over the hard part, like building character and healing and really being able to address things that have them tripping up at some point. I meet leaders all the time where they hit a plateau and there's something that they're like, what am I doing or not doing? It usually is an inner character thing or a next level thing where they just got comfortable and they're like, nah. Just because you've done something and it always works doesn't mean you're meant to stay there forever. This is where we get to partner with the Lord and be like, okay, what's next? What's next? Growing in your character, which means, how do we grow in character? It means when trials come, talked about this, I believe on day 16 or 17, being reactive versus proactive. How are you being proactive of building your character? And then when those moments come and you have to react, how are you going to react? How are you going to respond? It matters. A lot of people want the leadership title, but when it comes down to it, are you going to truly lead in that moment? Are you going to let your flesh rise up? Are you going to let your offense rise up? Are you going to let other things come in the way of that? It really is a weighty title. Like, it is not for the faint. It is a full load of responsibility. Full load of responsibility. That's why I love being able to do that work inside of our community with people who are hungry to do it. It is the harder work. It 100% is. But you know what? It is so rewarding. And I know that I'm going to hear, good job, well done, my good and faithful servant. Because time and time again, I'm like, Lord, less of me, more of you in all areas. That's what it means to be a leader. Lord, less of me, more of you. What does it look like? How would you respond? How would you lead? What would Jesus do? Where do we go? What do we do? We talked about this book a little bit in one of the days. This book is fire. Some of you have already messaged me saying you got it. Jesus CEO, Using Ancient Wisdom for Visionary Leadership. Lots of little quick excerpts. Gives you good questions, gives you good things to chew on. Like, this is a great book, easy read. Honestly, could be daily reads, truthfully. This right here, Jesus CEO, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Another amazing tool that I love to use is the John Maxwell Leadership Bible. I love the John Maxwell Leadership Bible. There's so many amazing leadership excerpts that when you read the word and then you see how he kind of brings it together for a leadership lesson, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Some really great leadership tools, but nothing replaces prayer life, time with the Lord, really reading the word, no book other than the Bible. You have to dig into those things. There was a time when I was growing as a leader that I was like so desperate to hear from other voices that I was like, give me the shortcut, give me the shortcut, give me the shortcut. And it all kept falling flat. And the Lord's like, I'm right here. And now I truthfully haven't picked up a book and read maybe more of a few pages because I just get so uninterested. Not that it's not a good topic, but the Lord's like, I want you in my word. I want you here. He's very specific on what he wants me to read because I spent way too long listening to other people and replacing his voice with theirs. A lot of people do that. So I want to leave you with this. This came to me this morning, and I felt like this is really powerful because a lot of people could be like, she's coming on live. She wants to hear herself talk, yada, yada. This is 100% not about me. Showing up for 30 days straight at the same time takes commitment, takes dedication, adjusting sometimes. And this is something that I wrote down that I believe this is really powerful for people to understand. When it comes to sharing things that are on our hearts and going live and sharing content, having a podcast, a business, what have you, for me, I'm not doing this to be known. I'm not sharing these things to be known. I'm doing this for people to know. I'm not doing this to be known. I'm doing this for people to know the truth, to know the revelations that I've had, to know that there's things that are deeper. Like, I wish I was hearing people talk like this, like when I was in my 20s, because I was looking for something deeper, but I couldn't find it. And I'm so tired of the milk and the surface level that people are still having troubles with. It's like time to go deeper. Time to scuba dive, y'all. Put on that mask and let's go. Yes, we don't necessarily know what's down there. It can be kind of terrifying, but guess what? Like, it's going to be okay. It is. And we got to dig down deep. And we got to really understand where we're at and do self-audits constantly, especially if we're going to lead others. But we have to lead ourselves first. So again, I'm not doing this to be known. I'm doing this so people can know truth, maybe a different way, different perspective, have a paradigm shift. Because I know there's key moments of podcasts or lives or posts where I'm like, wow, that stuck. Sermons, I'm like, that really stuck. So when you share, don't do it to be known. You're the vessel, but it really, outside of that, has nothing to do with you. Do it so other people can know that truth and be exposed to it. And let them decide for themselves. So I hope that you're getting some good stuff out of this. Let me know what you're learning by #replay. If you are looking for leadership resources to be able to really grow and dig deep, we would love to be able to talk to you about our Radiant Leadership Academy. It's amazing. Men come in it too, guys, like they do. Don't be mistaken by the word radiant. Like, guys want that too. It is amazing to be able to see that. Husband and wives go through it together. I've seen mothers and daughters go through it together. It's just incredible. Incredible. So thank you for joining me. Excited to be back again tomorrow for day 18.